You were taught that Europe is a continent. It isn't. It's a system. And like all systems built on extraction, it needed places where people could be taken without being seen. Those places were islands. Not faraway islands. Not exotic islands. Islands inside Europe's control. By the 17th century, Europe had a problem. Africans were everywhere in its empire, on plantations, on ships, in ports, in cities, and increasingly, they were resisting. Rebellion spread faster than paperwork, so Europe perfected a solution it had already tested overseas. Remove Africans from the mainland, but keep them close enough to control, far enough to forget. Islands offered legal ambiguity, physical isolation, total surveillance, and most importantly, plausible denial. These islands appear European on modern maps. They were not European in experience. They were African containment zones. Before the Caribbean sugar plantations, Madeira was the prototype. Africans were imported as labor, experimented on, worked to death. Portuguese records called this agricultural development. African oral history remembers the island where people disappeared into work. This is where Europe practiced its skill. The Canary Islands sit off Africa's coast, but under Spain. Here, indigenous Africans were enslaved. Captured Africans were held. Africans were forcibly assimilated. Spain tested racial hierarchy here before exporting it to the Americas. These islands were not peripheral. They were training grounds, mid-Atlantic, perfectly placed. The Azores functioned as maritime checkpoints, holding zones, labor islands. Africans stranded here often never reached plantations, never returned home, never appeared in colonial narratives. They existed in shipping margins, and margins are where people vanish. When rebellion could not be managed, Europe turned islands into final destinations. Robben Island did not begin with apartheid. It began as a colonial solution. Africans were sent here because they could not organize, they could not communicate, they could not be seen. Political resistance was isolated, spiritual leadership was broken, the sea became a wall. Today, it is framed as a migration crisis island. Historically, it functioned as a filter, a holding space, a legal grey zone. Africans reached Europe, but not Europe's protections. The island absorbed bodies, the mainland absorbed deniability. Here is how disappearance works without violence. Step 1. Remove people to islands. Step 2. Redefine the island. Words change. Settlement becomes outpost. Community becomes station. Burial ground becomes unused land. Step 3. Stop counting. No census, no registry, no descendants acknowledged. This is not neglect, it is policy. Because if these islands are acknowledged as African sites, then Europe is not just a colonizer, it is a custodian of African graves. That raises questions no empire wants to answer. Who worked here? Who died here? Who owns this land? Who owes whom? It is easier to call these islands remote, strategic, European. Maps can lie quietly, bones cannot. Africa was not only stolen overseas, it was contained at Europe's edges, on islands where resistance could not spread, death could not testify, memory could be delayed, but delay is not deletion. These islands still exist. You can visit them, you can stand on them, and when you do, you are standing on African history that survived every attempt to be erased. This series ends here, but the map does not. History wasn't lost, it was isolated. Thank you for joining us in episode 1, 2, and 3. This is the final, and your host is Nadia. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to RearView TV. And I hope to see you in the next one.